Welcome to Tarot and the Moons. Hi everyone, my name is Ingrid, and this is an offering for new moon or full moon tarot readings. Enjoy! Hi everyone, so to save a little time, I already shuffled the cards. We're using the Arc-en-Ciel Tarot card, and we are using the Light Seers Tarot. Clearly, I'm using Light Seers because we are doing a full moon eclipse tarot reading in Libra. Let me try that again. We're doing a tarot reading on the full moon eclipse in Libra. There you go, Ingrid. So just so that we understand what's going on, we have our sun over here and we have our full moon over here. And basically, astronomically, what's happening is, and pretend this is the Earth. The Earth is coming in between, right? The full moon's radiance on that sun, and we can even see a little bit of an eclipse thing happening there. But that's astronomically what's going on. And yes, the whole planet is and will be affected, as well as the inhabitants of Earth. But one of the things that I share with people is that in my tradition, and my grandfather was very much about the land, he was a farmer. When eclipses occurred, it was not something to be observed, right? Because eclipses were a time to go inward. It was a time to ramp up your prayer time. It's a time to ramp up your meditation. It's a time to literally sit in silence, because what's happening astronomically and with the Taino natives, it was a ritualized experience that was happening in the cosmos. So it's very much respected, and it's one of those things that we understand that the sun being the illuminator, the life force that also gives life to the moon, right? Because the moon is reflecting off of that sun during the evening hours, which is why she can be our guide. This is being, there's a wedge being created here, if you were, with the earth, the inhabitants, right? So that these forces of illumination are not so readily accessible to us during our night time. So during those periods of time, we would definitely just go inward and be in reverence of the magic that is occurring, but also the transformation that is being seeded during that time period. And so for us, for purposes of our reading, here we have our moon, so I'll just put it here. But for purposes of our reading, and this is the same concept that, by the way, that, I have when I tell you guys about the quarter moon, and we're doing the new moon rotation, or the full moon rotation, rather. When we hit that quarter moon, right, this is the time we want to ramp up our energy in terms of our prayer and connection to the divine source within us. But when we have that eclipse happening, we really want to honor the fact that this is an eclipse season, and we want to take those days after the eclipse, definitely the moment of the eclipse, but the days after the eclipse, to be in the space of reverence, respect, understanding that there is a cosmic ritual occurring, and also be within. So that your light source that we are missing, right? When the earth stands in between the sun and the illumination of the moon, we want to tap into the light source within us. That will keep us safe, and that will avert, we're so used to having this conceptualized understanding, misguided understanding that things are fated or destined for us, and we do nothing but sit there and allow things to occur. That is probably the most harmful thing you can do for your connection with your soul self during eclipse, because during an eclipse we are literally being active in avoiding the darkness that is literally taking hold of the earth, at least the northern hemisphere part of the earth. All right, so let's begin. Like I said, I shuffled everything. Don't forget you have a PDF handout that you can fill out, do your analysis on, really get deep into what's occurring for you. Stay in the space of prayer, of illumination within yourself. So let's begin again. Who are the players? Well, in astrology, Libra is ruled by Venus. And in Tarot, we have several archetypes that are ruled by Venus. We have the Justice card. This is the main one. She is the main character. So we have the Justice card. We also have the Empress card. And we have the Hierophant. So those are our three main players for this eclipse season. And one of the things that I'm just going to pull up Justice here for a second. I was getting my tea. One of the things that, or the mythology, the Greek mythology describes Justice as Athene, and she was the daughter of Zeus and the daughter of the goddess of wisdom, who was known as Metis. And Justice always battled, to uphold and preserve not only truth, but she did it with a sense of logic, diplomacy, and strategy. So logic, diplomacy, and strategy is actually her tool set. She's intelligent. She has incredible foresight. So in that sense, she also has a leaning of sort of a priestess energy. This is, she's someone who not only reflects judgment, but she also reflects rational thought, which is identified with the sword, right? And all of those characteristics I just mentioned, we can sense the air quality of Libra, right? It's all about the thought, logic, diplomacy, strategy, foresight, rational thinking, impartiality. Her impartiality is actually her shield. So when we're going through this eclipse season, be impartial to whatever is going to happen. It's not neutral. Neutrality has the connotation of not being active, versus impartiality, we're listening, we are observing, we are taking note, right? So she's a very active energy, whereas being neutral isn't. So she's here to teach us a moral lesson. What's that moral lesson? To think clearly and to have a balanced mind. So if you can imagine, where are my little props here? I love these little props. So if you can imagine the illumination points being darkened, right? It's being darkened. So we look at these archetypes on their more challenging aspects, and that would be, there's injustice, right? Then we hit the Empress. What's the Empress? She's about patience. She's about nurturing that maternal energy. So she nurtures not only the maternal energy, but she also nurtures that which it is within her, right? Because usually it's a pregnant archetype that we see in most decks. And these are pomegranates, right? The myth is Persephone and her mom, etc. But this is about nurturing the maternal, nurturing the feminine, nurturing the creator, right? Nurturing what's within us. Again, in an eclipse, we see the more challenging aspect of this, when we're not nurturing, where we're not having sympathy, when we are not creating, right? Which means we are not what? We're not nurturing. And then we have the Hierophant. Again, these are all ruled by the planet Venus, which is the ruling planet of Libra, right? So with the Hierophant is known in Greek mythology as Chiron, the wounded healer. And what the Hierophant is here to teach us is to seek true meaning in our lives by creating our own philosophy to guide our life's purpose. So when we think, you'll often see tarot readers referring to the Hierophant as government. Why? Because it symbolizes traditional institutions. It symbolizes traditional values. It symbolizes our environment, marriage even, commitments, religion, beliefs, social groups, knowledge and belief systems, right? So that's the traditional meaning. When we look at the Empress, what is she? She is pregnancy, she's fertility, she's motherhood, she is nurturing, as I mentioned before, she is creativity, she is femininity. The nature of femininity is what she represents, which is oftentimes Earth herself. And then we have Justice. Justice is karmic. She reminds us that there are consequences to our actions. She deals with not only legal disputes, but universal laws. Things that we have done in the past are going to be darkened, right? We've hidden it. But as soon as that eclipse starts moving out, there will be illumination in these three areas, right? This is about decisions needing to be maintained and made in order to balance justice, law, and order. So on a universal platform, we could see these themes kind of creeping up on a collective level. And then on an individual level, we're going to see through the readings where the astrology falls for you. Again, we're doing moon astrological signs. So look at your astrology chart and find out where your moon is. And that's the reading that we're doing. We are trying to regulate our emotions, because when you regulate your emotions and when you're in control of your emotions, that is how you tap into happiness and manifestation. So I don't know about you, but I've been hit really hard. I've had surgery. Thank you to my friends for always being there. It's been really tough. This particular axis is repeating something that was continuing from last year, which is when I lost my mama. So, we can't live in the space of fear, right? We have to live in the space of, when the eclipses come, they are seasonal. So this is going to show us what is it that we reaped before, right? What is it that's coming through? So it's really important for us to pay attention to the messages that arise, right? So as always, we are going to start with, I just want to make sure, we're going to start with Aries. And did I tell you we're doing the Light Seers? Yes, I did. I think I did. But we're using the Light Seers Tarot, and that's because I like the name and I like the idea of putting out their light when we're doing this full moon eclipse reading in the sign of Libra. So here we go. see what we got here. Aries, we've got Death here and the Lovers. This is really interesting. For me, on a personal note, when this came, you know, I have Aries ascendant in my Vedic astrology, and my moon in Vedic is actually Libra, and I was just mentioning my mom. So I am, you know, I personally am being reminded of the death of my mom, and also here Lovers. In, you know, one of the things I teach with, let me get my little wand. One of the things I always teach students is to understand the generic meaning of a card, right? So when we see the Lovers, it's about choices. When we see the Death card, it's about a renewal. So there's a renewal here of love coming for the people with moon in Aries signs. So you want to just keep that in mind, that this is about the choices that you're making. I do see like a Sag sign here. I don't know if that's significant for anyone, but this is also reminding me, and again, we're dealing with eternal love. So I am going to pull for you the Empress, because it's something dying, something creating, the Lovers, the creation of something new, right? Renewed is coming to fruition. There is some sort of synergy here. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kind of process. That's what it feels like to me. It feels very paced for those of you who have your moon in Aries. So, you know, coming into this eclipse season, I kind of like my little, I feel like I don't have enough space. I need a bigger, because I'm blocking. Anyway, I like my little props here. So I'll keep them around. How's that? I'll keep them around. Just to remind us that this is an eclipse season. But for those of you with the moon in Aries, you're being reminded to release something, to let go of something, right? Remember, this is a full moon. We traditionally let something go, but it's being amplified here for those with the Libra, the Aries full moon, because you have a major arcana. So it's really time to just cut off once and for all anything that's not serving you, whether that's in a love relationship, intimate relationship, whether that's holding on to the past, whether that's holding on to the concept that you will never love again, etc., that you cannot birth something new. Just let it go. Release it. Because for you, this eclipse season, and no surprise, right, because this is the axis, the eclipse season is going to amplify your relationship, and not just your relationship to yourself, and maybe that's what you need to start letting go of. It's relationship with other. It's either relationship literally with another or with yourself at a different, more creative level. That was a beautiful reading for those of you with Aries moon. God, I wish I could, like, I'm literally standing up doing this reading because I just can't get this camera to do what I want it to do. So it could, you know, I think I have to be up in the ceiling so you guys can see everything, but then it's the camera's too far, etc. Next up, we have Taurus. Taurus, what do we've got for you? We've got versatility, which is the 3 of Pentacles, and then we have the Hierophant. So obviously, right, obviously we're going to be drawn to the Hierophant here. But versatility is creativity, so I would also maybe pull this since we have the Hierophant. But it is versatility, so I'll put this one back since we have the Hierophant already. So very strong for you Taurians, right? People with moons in Taurus, very strong, because you have here one of the archetypes for this full moon eclipse season coming through. And you also being pulled to the Empress, because the 3 of Pentacles is about creativity. This is about making money in ways that you've never thought of before. And the Hierophant, remember what I said about the Hierophant? The Hierophant is about tradition. It's about institutions. It's about values, right? So you're here creating a new value for yourself that's going to solidify some institution for you, some level of a traditional group for you, a social group. So you are definitely leading in that. And be careful with your communications, because we are dealing with an eclipse season. So we want to be careful with how we communicate with others, right? How we communicate. But this, again, I feel like this Hierophant energy is going to give you some knowledge during this eclipse season that you never thought of before, because this is a quite unusual Pentacles energy. It's something you never thought of. So just let and allow the information to be downloaded to you. You can literally see the stars coming into formation here. Beautiful. Next up we have Geminis. Gemini, you have the Page of Wands and Fearlessness, which is you could say the Page of Swords, or you can say the Prince of Swords. So this is the Prince of Swords and the Prince of Wands. So this is a very young energy here. So there might be some new creative force that's coming. But I was going to pull one. I was going to pull the Empress, but because we have that sword energy, and we also have this singularity here, that's like the wand energy. It reminded me of the sword here, right? Of justice. So for you, this eclipse season, I would venture to say, don't walk away from your responsibilities. Don't throw away your ideas, your creative ideas, and be in the space of patience. Be in the space of this particular major arcana that's a big player for this full moon. So understand that we have to be in the place of literally listening to our hearts versus just listening to the mind, right? Because this one feels like there was magic. I almost felt like, because of this energy, I almost felt like we're throwing away, like we're just giving up. I would say don't give up so quickly just because it's a young energy, or it's a young idea, or it's a new idea. We really have to wait and see what manifests, because there's honesty and truth and integrity behind these ideas that you are formulating. And if not, that's what we need to ramp up. Don't give up the idea. Don't give up the creative project. What we need to really assess here is whether or not this creative idea is within integrity and is within your truth and your honesty. That was intense. Geminis, you guys have been having like I don't know, the new year for the Gemini has been feeling a little bit like we really need to ground the mind, right? We need to really embrace the lessons that the Justice card is here to teach, which is think clearly, think logically, be discerning with your decision-making process for those with the Gemini moon. Next, we have Cancer. Dun, dun, dun. We have the Hermit, and then we have Taking Command. So again, I'm going to be pulled over to the Justice card for you, because I see that strong sword energy. Oops. That strong sword energy, and I also, am relating to swords. So anytime we see swords in tarot, it's about your thought process. So what is the Hermit doing? She is literally thinking about illuminations, thinking about what gifts can I share with the world. Once you have solidified what that is, Then you go out and you take command and you show the world what your gifts are, what you have discovered and balanced within yourself. Balancing within yourself. Nice. Next up, we have the Leos. Just want to make sure this, well, I can put this one up now. Leo, wow, of course, a Leo is ambitious. So for this full moon eclipse season, for you Leo, people with moon in Leo, you go for it. Nine of Cups is also like, look at all of what you've accomplished because you've connected with your ancestors, right? Cups is all about your emotions, and the 9 for me signifies a connection with your ancestors, the illumination, those that are beyond. They are literally assisting you in creating something that will reap money. So obviously, I am being brought over here to the Empress energy. So you are, for this new season, eclipse season, you are being downloaded with information that will help you not only with your business, but also suddenly felt like also with your health. Also with your health. Very nice. Next we have the Virgos. Now remember, with Virgo, look at that, you get the Justice card. With Virgo, I was going to say in sidereal Vedic astrology, this eclipse is happening on the Virgo axis. So it's the Virgo-Pisces axis, so just FYI. But we have the, whoa, really big, right? So we've got the Justice card, and then we've got Judgment. So I'm obviously being drawn to the Justice card here because of that Judgment. So remember what I said about one of the qualities and one of the gifts that justice is here to teach us, and you've got it on both ends here, is to not judge so harshly without first analyzing, without first thinking. Analyzing is one of the things that Virgos do. You know, before you jump into judgment, you have to first analyze the situation, hear everyone out. Don't be so quick to judge someone. And look at this Judgment card. How amazing, right? When you judge another, you are judging yourself. You literally are just judging yourself. So the more that we can be at peace with ourselves, the more that we can forgive ourselves, right? The more that we can be in this space of the soul that seeks to rejoice. But yeah, careful about judgment, because if the Justice card came out and there's judgment here, then she will equally judge you as harshly as you're judging others. I feel like I should have some music in the background or something. Libras, this is your full moon. So you have the Knight of Cups and you have creative knowledge. So I almost thought that was a unicorn, but it's not. It's like this light source hitting the horse. So whenever you do see the Knight of Cups, this is someone who at first sight might appear very selfish. And for me, I am being drawn to the Empress card. Someone who may appear very selfish or very full of himself. Look at the tattoos, you know, whatever. But they're actually very reflective, very introverted, very spiritual. They can be, I mean, that's the symbol, you know, with the symbology here. Very spiritual. You see the little gong here. Very sentimental. So for you, whatever's happening, obviously you are all about relationships. So for you, it's about engaging this in a way that it's about engaging your life in this new full moon eclipse season in a way that is creative but also very romantic. So pay attention to yourself and seek out the romance. I think that's what, I mean, hello. It's definitely coming through pretty strongly that that's what it is. Oops. Put that one down. This one over here. And at the end of the reading, I'm just going to quickly do like another assessment of just what I think your emotional power is speaking to you about for this eclipse season. Okay, we have Scorpios. You get the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Pentacles. So there's something here coming in terms of your money matters moving. You know, it may not be as much as you want because of this page, but do know that there's a studying going on, that there's an assessment going on, that there, you know, I'm going to bring the Justice card, that there's an analysis going on, right? This wheel is constantly turning. This is the wheel of destiny. So oftentimes, even when we go to court, we are in the hands of destiny. We are in the hands of fate. So there's an element of justice that has destiny and fate in her. There is new money coming to you. So again, don't get disappointed if something is not as much as you expected, but it's still the Wheel of Fortune. It's still more than what you thought you would ever receive. Really nice, very powerful. And because I was drawn to the Justice, know that what you get is the right and just reward for you, especially with destiny in there. Cool. Oh my God, we're at 31 minutes in this video. Sagittarius, dun dun dun. What do we got here? Joyous gatherings and the Three of Pentacles. So these are both minor arcana cards. I would be drawn to our last engagement here that we had. Remember, we had Justice, then the next card was the Empress, and I'm going to be drawn here to, I'm drawn here to the Hierophant, because I see here, like, these are like parents and a child. When we have the Hierophant, it does have, again, that sense of tradition, right? So that's why I'm being drawn to this particular card. For you, Three of Pentacles, the way that this is coming out is look to your tradition for spiritual engagement, because you've been yearning, those with the moon in Sagittarius, you've been yearning joy, but it's going to come in an unexpected way. I almost feel like you don't want to look at tradition. You don't want to look at your past. You don't want to look at family, but your joy is somewhere in there. It may even be in what you wanted to do as a child, but you were being taught to do something else. Because this child almost seems like she's waving this away. The mother's into it, the father's into it, right? The parents are into it, but not the child. So your joy is in whatever you really wanted to do back then when you were engulfed in traditions. And there you'll find your joy. Nice. Next up, we have Capricorn. Capricorn, you got the 10 of Wands. This is about accomplishments and the Hanged Man. So, I think I'm going to be drawn also to, no, I'm going to be drawn here to, oops, can't with my, going to be drawn here to Justice, because when we're facing justice, there is a sense of, oh, is my world going to be, you know, if you ever go to trial or something, you know, is my world going to be turned upside down? There's a lot of worrying here that was going on. But once we face off with justice, we have a sense of accomplishment. And you've created a lot. You've done a lot of different things, Capricorn. You have accomplished a lot. Sometimes we just have to enjoy what we've accomplished, right? And this is one of those moments that you've accomplished something. And liberty, that's interesting that I said liberty. Justice, liberty and justice are two different energies, but you're finally feeling freedom. And that freedom is coming through because for you, justice, law, and order has always been part of your own virtues. So it's time for you to enjoy that. It's almost like justice is giving you this virtue that you now can, put in your little box of accomplishments, right? The virtue of justice. Justice is not blind. She sees very clearly what she's doing and who she's observing. And whenever we see the Hangman, it's also about receiving spiritual guidance from unexpected viewpoints. And as well as the Ten of Wands is new beginnings, endings and new beginnings, but it's also very spiritual. Whenever we see the Wands, obviously it's the fire energy. So the fire is spirit. It is spirit, and some people argue that the water element of the cups is the soul. So there's two different energies there. One is very active and the other one is very yin. Aquarius, dun dun dun, belief systems. We've got the Seven of Wands and the Four of Cups. Oof. I have to kind of say, I'm going to be pulling up the Empress here because there's something emotional about your spiritual practice that you're getting bored. Look at her face, right? She's got like Four of Cups, which is all about stability, right? It's the number 4 is about stability. And it's about engaging. Someone's giving you something, right? It's another hand there. Someone's giving you something. Someone's trying to help you. You're a little bruised up, too. There's like bruises going on. And just, there's a lack of belief going on with people with moon in Aquarius. There's a lack of belief that you can pull off this creative project that you have going. Yeah, so for you, this eclipse season, I think for you is really about tapping in, of being in and literally going into your space of knowing what your true values are. Because clearly people giving you something is not giving you a sense of worth. So your sense of worth has to be coming from within, right? That's what the Empress is here to teach us. Coming from within. Because actually, what you're creating is pretty magnificent, but you're not believing in it for whatever reason. Do things to not get bored like this. And don't work so hard that what you're manifesting, it feels like, oh, what am I doing this for? Or it feels boring, right? So shake it up a little bit. Last but never least, we have the moon in Pisces, people. Woohoo! Integrity, right? So of course we have to, integrity is one of those things that the justice archetype is always looking for, and the Two of Wands. So this is literally going into an agreement with someone to create an idea that you want to land. So these are not one idea, but multiple ideas. You may need to, I'm just tapping into whoever's following here, you may need to involve actual justice, because this, whenever the Two of Wands shows up, this is a written agreement. This can be a written agreement about a project. So I'm going to need to involve justice, which is all about contracts as well. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but justice can be about contracts and agreements. I would caution to do this because I think Mercury's going retrograde. So I would just caution not to do it during this immediate, if you can wait, immediate full moon eclipse season moment, and definitely wait until that Mercury has passed before you go into this agreement, because that's what it feels very strongly to me, that it's about an agreement. It's about an agreement to land a project that's pretty big. And if you want to do it with integrity, you have to pay attention to the details, right? Because that's what the Justice card is reminding us to do. So that is our reading. Let me spread this out so we could see all the players. That is our reading for the full moon. The full moon eclipse in Libra. So one of the things I wanted to share before I logged off was for everyone what your power center during this eclipse season is here to teach you and here to help you release. Just want to make sure that I can see all the icons, because I'm going to be talking about them in a second. There we go. All right. So can't see the cards, but if you have an Aries moon, and this is again just for those with the moons. So for Aries moon, your emotional power center during this eclipse season will be to literally chisel away this aspect of your ego that's masking who you are, right? And you got the Death card, so that feels very strongly to me. If you're a Taurus, your emotional power center during this eclipse season is all about revamping what you deem valuable. What is it that you deem valuable? That Hierophant is really strong for you. If you are a Gemini, it's about how you perceive and interact with society. So your power center is all about that. It's about how are you perceiving yourself and how do you perceive society. And your emotional power center is giving you clues about that. If you're a Cancer, your emotional power center during this eclipse season is going to switch around how you feel about your home life. In particular, your relationship with your mom. Leos, you're being encouraged to take a risk expressing who you are. Take a risk. Because you've been feeling uncomfortable. And this time around for this eclipse season, it's all about you going into the space of comfort with your creativity. For Virgos, your inner and outer world is going to definitely be shifted. Again, for me, if we're doing the Vedic, Pisces, Virgo, Libras, Aries. For you, it's about your inner and outer world shifting so that your purpose of serving others will be completely turned around in 180 for you. If you're a Libra, your emotional power center is affecting almost every relationship in your wheelhouse. That means career, romance, the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with your space, etc. This is all going to be balanced out for you. Scorpio, your power center for this eclipse season is about, I feel like it's about power struggles for you. I almost feel like it's not just about power struggles within you, but it's about power struggles outside of you. And whatever happens for you, this is about making things equal or making things balanced in your particular world. I'm so sorry. I almost want to pause the video because I'm hearing cars with horns and stuff outside. So I hope you're not hearing it. For those with Sagittarius, your emotional power center during this eclipse season will be literally unearthing these antiquated belief systems that seriously don't serve you anymore. You're going to be given another type of universal truth that you can start embracing. If you are a Capricorn, for you, this is about creating a new potential, something new for you to achieve. Remember, you got that 10 of Wands, right? Yeah. So you're going to be given something else to achieve and focus on. If you're an Aquarius, again, moon, your emotional power center is going to give you some sort of new knowledge, because you're bored with what you've done, right? So it's giving you some sort of new knowledge that you can concentrate on and be committed to, and you know, something that shifts something within you so that you don't hold yourself back, because you're holding yourself back here. And for Pisces, people with moon in Pisces, your emotional power center this eclipse season is showing you, what I just saw was a fork in a road, right? So there's a fork in a road, and you're going to decide on a new journey. You're going to decide on a new journey, because before these roads were being hidden, and now it's being revealed. So this is really about you making choices that are quite discerning, but you're going to be given more than one choice. Both roads are good, but you're going to be given more than one choice, and you have to choose. You have to be discerning. All right. I hope that you enjoyed it. I see 46 minutes on my video thingy here. I tried to lay it out and do it quickly, but I couldn't, and that's what it is. And that's because we have these major archetypes, major arcanas at play, and I really hope that you take heed in what I said and really just focus your energy on illuminating aspects of yourself during this eclipse season. Okay, till next time. Bye.